In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this really fun and quick cup cozy. This is a free pattern available on my website, jonnamartinez.com. I will have everything linked in the drop-down description box below this video. Thanks for watching. Now let's get started. For materials, I am using a yarn called Big Twist Baby Bear. If you check out my website, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different styles of yarn you can use for this project. I'm also using an H 5.00mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, a tape measure, some really cute patches that I found on Etsy, and I'm also using this fabric fusion glue as a permanent glue to add my patches. To begin, create a slip knot of your choice. Then, with this yarn, you're going to chain 27. You may need more or less chains, depending on the yarn you use. Remember, the loop on your hook never counts as a chain. I will have detailed information on gauge if you visit my website, jonnamartinez.com. The link to this project will be in the drop-down description box of this video. Once you have 27 chain, I'm going to half double crochet into the second chain from hook. I am only using one turning chain here. If you prefer to use two turning chains, you'll want to chain 28 and then half double crochet into the third chain from hook. Here I am half double crocheting into the second chain from hook for one turning chain. Half double crochet into each chain all the way down your work. You should have 26 half double crochet at the end of this row. The first stitch likes to be rounded here like this, so you can place a stitch marker there so you can remember that that is your first stitch. Now just continue half double crocheting all the way down your chain. Once I have completed this row, I will show you how my work is looking. If you are working with the video, this is a good place to pause. This is how my work looks after row 1. We can now measure our work. After row 1, your work should measure about 8 inches or 20 centimeters. If you give it a little stretch and measure again, it should measure around 8.5 to 9 inches or 21.5 centimeters. From here, we're going to wrap our work around and create a loop by slip stitching into the very first half double crochet we made. This long tail from my slip knot is what I'm going to secure the bottom part of the cup cozy with at the end when I weave in all of the tails. Chain 1 and half double crochet into the same stitch you slip stitched into. Now we're going to camel stitch. The camel stitch is a stitch worked into the very back loop of the half double crochet. So instead of working into the top 2 loops like you would normally with a regular stitch, you're going to be working into this little diagonal stitch at the back of your work. So position your work forward like this and grab that diagonal stitch at the back. Half double crochet like normal. You're going to do this for each stitch all the way around your work. As you see, this pops the top of the stitch forward to make a beautiful texture. Continue with the camel stitch all the way around. Once you come to the very end, I will show you how my work looks and we can finish. At the end of round 2, you will still have 26 stitches. Sometimes the slip stitch can create a little gap in your work. You want to just skip over that and slip stitch to the very top of your first stitch. You can pull your yarn and tighten it down here to make a nice clean join. Chain 1 and half double crochet into your very first stitch, the same stitch we slip stitched into. Now we're going to repeat round 2. So we're going to half double crochet those camel stitches all the way around. Once I come to the very end again, I will show you how my work is looking and meet back up. Here is my work at the end of round 3, and I'm slip stitching to complete the round. You can count your stitches by counting the posts of the stitch. This yarn makes it very difficult to see the stitches very clearly from the top of your work. Again, you should have 26 stitches. Chain 1, and now we're just going to do a normal half double crochet. If you really enjoy the camel stitch, you could make the entire cozy just with those stitches. Half double crochet into your first stitch. I'm going to be half double crocheting between each stitch. This makes a really flat and even fabric. You can also go into the top of the stitch by just grabbing those top 2 loops. But again, I like to go into that space just below them. Going into the top makes a taller stitch. I'm just going to go between each stitch all the way around for round 4. At the end, I will show you how my work is looking, and we can complete the round. At the end of your round, you want to count your stitches and make sure you have 26. And then I'm skipping that space because I have 26 stitches and slip stitching into the top of my first stitch. Here I'm making sure the loop on my hook is very tight, and then when slip stitching, pull the yarn again to make sure that closure is nice and clean. From here, we're going to repeat round 4. So round 5, 6, and 7 will be repeating round 4. Once I have those rounds complete, I will show you how my work is looking. Here is my work after round 7. Now for the last 2 rounds of your work, we're going to go back to the camel stitch. So this is just going to be repeating round 2. Half double crochet into your first stitch and camel stitch all the way around. Once I get back around to the beginning again, I will show you how my work is looking. Slip stitch to complete round 8. Then chain 1 and repeat this round again. Half double crochet into your first stitch and camel stitch all the way around. Once I have completed this round, I will show you how my work is looking. This is the last round, and we can complete the cup cozy. For the very last round of your work, you don't want to slip stitch. You're going to cut a long tail and pull the tail through the last stitch of your work. Then we're going to take our yarn needle and fasten off like this, so it has a little bit nicer finish than just a regular slip stitch. Turn your work inside out. Weave in all your tails. And go back to round 1. Using that long tail, I'm just going to close up that gap. If you like, you can put a little dot of glue onto the ends of your tails if you're worried about them coming loose. Your work should be around 4 inches tall and 4 to 4.5 inches wide. You can give your work a little stretch, and this will help with the sizing. Then, using that fabric glue, I'm going to place the patch onto the cup cozy. This glue takes a full 24 hours to cure, so I like to place something heavy on top of it while it finishes drying. Again, be sure to check out the drop-down description box below for the links to everything I used in this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely crochet day, and to see you again in my next tutorial.